Shalom, one itself, Salisbury, giving no praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Kadash, double honor to the apostles of great millstone, and honors to brothers doing the work of the Most High in truth and in sincerity. Yahweh's raw name of whom the world ignorantly calls God, Jehovah, or Yahweh. His raw name is Yahweh. Son's true name is Yahweh Shai, and when we pray Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba meaning in, meaning that, and Sham meaning names, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai. This one is from Pew Research Center, right? So that's supposed to be quite a legit, source of information. Okay, whether it is or isn't, that's a different topic for another conversation. At the end of the day, when it comes to statistics, you gotta take everything that Esau says with a pinch of salt. Because here it is, statistics, maths, right? Math from the Hebrew word amath, meaning truth. Yet Esau's been able to lie with maths, right? So lie with the truth, right? Which I'm just gonna get this real quick. Psalms 58:3: the wicked are estranged from the womb; they go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. So everything that this man speaks, never trust an enemy, right? He's always gonna find a way to use statistics to lie. However, I did find this particular thing interesting. It's a little old now, I think it's from like last week. But yeah, this particular statistics that I saw, I found very interesting because the portrayal of East Asia, as in the places where you have a lot of, you basically have a lot of American. Just do whatever America says. This basically is saying that the population sees America as a problem, but that is certainly not what is portrayed in the media out here in the West, and stuff like that. Okay, so this is what you see. It says this is stunning data by Pew Research Center in Japan, South Korea, Taiwan, and Hong Kong. Right, Japan, South Korea, especially being very much patsies for for America. Yeah, it says a huge percentage of the population considers the US as a threat. We're talking 70 to 80% of the population. Even in Japan, the main US ally in the region, 53% of the population considers the US a major threat, and 23% a minor threat. And as the Spirit has us go into a lot at the camp, when it comes to these nations, America is basically bringing them into this war. You have certain people where they know that should a war happen, that they're going to be conscripted, and America's basically saying, "Look, man, you are coming into this war, whether you like it or not." Okay. Now, of course, we're starting off with just the regular people. However, we understand that this, and it's actually the Spirit, because this is in laws. I'll do a video on this at some point. But in the UK, they basically start speaking about conscription. So it's the Spirit, that the Lord had me do this video today. And the statement that I just made as well. Okay, so these people, they understand that the US is going to bring them into a war that no one wants. Okay, apart from the men of the Lord. See, we want this war. Right, we want this war because we understand that without without the MOTB being implemented, and without the world war that follows, we can't get into our kingdom, right? Because this is going to be the war to end all wars. Because pursuant to Isaiah the 2nd chapter, there will be no more war. Okay, there will be no more war after this particular, after the Third World War. In the Kingdom of Israel, there's going to be no more war. Okay. So, it's going to start off with the people, right? But ultimately, we understand, pursuant to prophecy, that you're going to end up with the military men of these different nations pushing that button. Okay, but why also is America, becoming out of favor? Because that covering cast, and in fact, maybe I'll start there. Right, that covering cast is being taken off. People are starting to see this Edomite for who he really is, right? Now the Spirit's had it whereby, one of the guys that I work with, a white Jake, right? He knows a lot, because of his familial ties. He knows a lot about China, so he, Spirit has it whereby he'll tell me certain things, right? And one of the things that I found very interesting, he said back in the day, we're talking about early 2000s, right, when he'd go to China, right? They would treat him like, they would treat him good, right? He obviously is, so-called white Jay. He's got that Edomite skin or whatever. They would treat him real good. But he's basically seen and observed that over time that he no longer gets that treatment anymore, right? It's no longer, oh, Mr. White Man anymore as it used to be back in the day. Now, is that to say that you would, if you as a Jake go in there, you would get a different, a better response than him? Of course not. We're still under the curses. But the point being, he's observed that actually over a period of time, right, the perception of that Edomite skin has changed. Okay, right? So the whole thing of Esau being this great individual, right? That's being, the Lord is taking that out of the earth. This is Isaiah 25:7, saying they will destroy it in the mount of the face, the covering cast over all of the covering cast over all people, and the veil that is spread over all nations. So the Lord basically put that cover, right? Let's grab this as a next precept, right? 2 Corinthians 11:14. It says, "And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light," right? So the Lord has, allowed that image to be pushed out into the world such that everyone looks at this Edomite like he can't do no wrong. Here it is, right? Here's the problem in the earth, right? He's flavorless, right? Because it's real. Yeah, you get the other heathens, right? But the other heathens, they've got certain things about them that's like, I can mess with that. I can dig that. You got these, say, Elam, you got the spices or whatever. So I'm gonna be eating some Elam as well. But Elam, they'll go with the spice and stuff like that. They've got the colorful clothing. When you start talking about the traditional ones, and which, to be fair, I believe actually even in the workplace, Elam, is known for. From one video that I watched, Elam will go to the office with their like traditional dress or whatever, what have you. Right now, this suit and tie BS. Right, you look at the kimono, or the traditional dress in Japan and Korea, whatever, what have you, all colorful stuff, right? These heathens, they knew how to be colorful. But then you get to Esau, the basest of men, pursuant to the scriptures, right? It was Daniel 4:17, right? Esau has he's just the POS, man. Right, he's just the POS. However, the Lord has basically. In fact, because that's actually on the money. Let me actually grab that precept. Right, this is Daniel 4:17. Right, it says, "This matter is by the decree of the watchers, and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and setteth up over it the basest of men." Okay, so this is actually just the Lord power tripping, Yahweh power trip, if you want to put it that way, right? Because the Lord basically like, look, man, look, I can make this POS, right, and put him in a high position. What does it say in Ecclesiastes 10? Right, I've seen servants upon horses and princes walking as servants upon the earth, right? And here it is where the Lord's chosen, right, where the apple of his eye, right? The Lord made us to. The Lord made us great. He surnamed us, yet we're at the bottom. All right, and when you look at Jake, whether it be in the media, you see stuff that's on social media, whatever, like Jake is just through, right? Whether they're just being degenerates, or whether it's just like life is just the curses have caught up with them and their life is just messed up, right? So the Lord basically took his chosen people, the people that are going to rule for eternity, and put them on a low level, right? And has taken the lowest of man and put him on a high level just to show his power, right? That's what we read of in Romans the 9th chapter, right? The Apostle Paul basically recounting the story of how the Lord basically set up Pharaoh to show his power, just to be like, look, I'm in control of this story, right? So the Lord has allowed this Edomite to basically get control over the whole earth, right? To put his image as something that has something to be esteemed to. But as time progresses, more and more people are starting to look at this Edomite sideways, okay? Especially with what's been happening over there, in our home turf, right? Our home turf that has been, stolen, right, by these Amalekites and these, Ishmaelites, right, in our home turf, right? People have been looking at these Edomites as a whole, just like, y'all are, you lot are full of shit, right? You know, because you get a whole load of Edomites are basically trying to justify, what is basically going on down there. And then people are like, because that's what I'm saying. So these are the same guys that will look, these are the same Edomites that will look Jake in the face and says, if I was there, right, during the times of slavery, if I was there, during, the genocide of, Gad and Reuben, I would have done something different, right? Yet they're showing you that no, they wouldn't have done anything different. And in fact, saying that, let's grab this real quick. This is Sirach, the 12th chapter, starting from the 10th verse. It says, never trust thine enemy. And that never is a never. That's not a sometimes, that's a never. Right? Question everything that this man does. This man's a devil. Right? And in fact, it's going to go in to say that, right? It says, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Right? And that's science. If you got, iron and it's exposed, right, guess what? It's going to rust. Okay, and that's basically saying, look, this Edomite, he's gonna rust. That is physics, right? Iron rusting, that's physics. Okay, and that's the same with this Edomite. He is gonna show his true colors. Okay, it says, though he humble himself and go crouch and take good heed and beware of him, right? And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass. And this is the point. And thou shalt know that his rust hath not been altogether wiped away, because this man, this Edomite, can talk good. He can talk good. He can make you think that everything's blessed, right? But when that time comes, he's gonna remember his instincts, and his instincts is that he is the devil, right? And once again, more and more people are seeing that, this Edomite, he ain't right. This is Jeremiah 13:23. Can the Ethiopian change his skin, or the leopard his spots? Then may ye also do good that are accustomed to do evil. Right? So this Edomite can't change who he is. That's how he is programmed. Brother Carby likes to use the term settings. These are Esau's settings. Right? That's just what he is. Right? He can't change who he he can't change his characteristics, because the Most High made them with those settings. Okay, that he is the devil. This is that is the Edomite for you. Right, so let's finish this. 2 Corinthians 11:14. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. Right, therefore it is no great thing if his ministers also be transformed as the ministers of righteousness, whose end shall be according to their works. So that, and Isaiah 25:7. Right, Esau's been basically pushed into this this idea of being this oh great man. However, right, the Lord is starting to peel that off. The Lord is starting to show, this Edomite for who he really is. This is Isaiah 47 from the top. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. It's referring to America, a virgin daughter, because America's never really actually been hit. Right, you look at, Pearl Harbor, right, and 9/11, all things to basically get the American people on side for a greater war. To sit on the ground, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Take millstones and grind milk, uncover the locks, make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers. And that's referring to the fact that, these different things that Esau hath done is basically being exposed, right? It's being pushed out more and more. And the Spirit has had it over the last couple of years, 3-4 years, that this Edomite can't do anything without his history basically being shown. Right? It says, thy nakedness, verse 3, thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen. And all the world is seeing his shame. Each time he tries to take the high horse, if you will, I forgot whether that's the actual English saying, but each time he tries to be like, oh, I'm Mr., I'm the great Edomite. It's like, yeah, right? People just be like, no, but actually, you're being a hypocrite. Oh, but actually, what, you did X, Y, and Z. And each time he tries to do anything, right, it just keeps coming back, right? And it goes on to say, I'll take vengeance and I'll not meet thee as a man. So that part of the verse talking about how when Yahushua returns, right, he's coming back as an angelic force. Right? He's coming back as a force, right? Because last time he was here as a man, they killed the Lord, right? So the Lord is coming to, to bring great judgment, right? It says in Luke, right? What will I, right? If I am come to bring fire on earth, and what will I, right? If it be already kindled, basically, look, I want there to be fire when I arrive, okay. So on the same point, right, is Habakkuk 2:16. It says, "Thou art filled with shame for glory. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of the Lord Yahweh's right hand shall be turned unto thee, right, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory." Right. So the Lord is uncovering this Edomite for everything that has been happening over the last however long. Right. The Lord is the one that has allowed that to happen. Right. Once again, we read the precept, right? Destroy the covering cast over all the people. The Lord is letting people remember that this is the one who in Job 30 is spoken of as being driven forth from among men. Right. No one wanted this Edomite around, right? But the Lord put him on a high position, but now the Lord is bringing him down. Okay, everyone is starting to look at him different to the end where in countries where you have in countries where you have supposedly a lot of Edomite influence, right? American influence. They're like, look, man, F y'all. You're a threat. You're a problem. You're a problem in the earth, right? I remember there was a speech back end of last year where they had said it was like a Chinese premier, and he basically was like, look, man, us Asians, we gotta stick. Basically, he was saying, us Asians, we gotta stick together, man. F this Edomite. That's effectively what he was saying. Okay, if I could remember what his name was or what his speech was, I'd show it. But he was basically saying, look, man, f these MFers, man. Okay, so that's that one. So Obadiah 1:6. How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? So the Lord is basically having put a spirit in the earth where once again, anything that Esau does, someone is being like, yeah, but this is the real history. Even to the point, I remember with this whole current situation, right? You had I believe it was actually a British newspaper, it was the BBC or someone basically speaking about the Balfour Declaration, right? So all of Esau's backdoor deals, his dealings, his crimes against humanity, right? His crimes against Israel, right, and his crimes against the rest of the heathen. Let's put it that way, because as it says in Isaiah 40th chapter, right, the nations are as a drop from a bucket, i.e. they're meaningless, right, in comparison to Israel. Right, it was in Amos 1:11, for thy violence against, oh no, that's Obadiah 1:10, right, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, right? So everything that Esau does, the Lord is basically having it come up and come up and come up and come up. Right, verse 7, right? All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee, that they may eat the bread. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him, right? A bread representing the money, right? So right now, it's just a populace, right? Which that's one of the things he will do with his statistics. He will he'll show you his statistics, but for all we know, they only asked 100 people, okay, and then they multiplied that across an entire region, right? But the sentiment is there, okay. The fact that you have currently the populace that are feeling this way, but there's gonna come a time when the Lord will put it in the spirit of these of the kings of these nations to actually think that evil thought spoken of in Ezekiel 38:10, says, thus saith the Lord, power shall come to pass, that at the same time shall things come into thy mind, right, and thou shalt think an evil thought. All right, and I'm laughing just because it's just the way that it's written. Okay, certain things are gonna come into your mind. An evil thought, and what's that evil thought? Right, to press that button. Right, yeah, I'm joking around, but ultimately that's that evil thought. Right, that the Lord is gonna put the spirit in these kings to press that button. Right, because America is one of those places where everyone has family members in America. right? Or I'll very say the large majority of people, right? Will know someone that lives in America, whether it's directly, or it's like, oh yeah, my like my grandparents, cousin lives there, or my uncle lives in America. I've never met the guy, but I know he lives in America, right? You may not have an affinity to that individual, right? But for the most part, a lot of people know someone who lives in America, okay, and that land is gonna be blown to smithereens. Okay, that land is gonna be just burnt, right? And every soul apart from the elect, right, the 1/3 that is on the land of America when those missiles hit is gonna get burnt up, man. So we're talking about mass casualty event. Okay, this is Jeremiah 50:9. For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken, their arrow shall be as of a mighty expert man, none shall return in vain. So once again, that evil thought, right? But that assembly of great nations is going to include America's allies, as we're about to read in our last precept, Jeremiah the seventh, it's like Revelation 17th chapter. Okay, because once again, right now it's just the populace, right? These are nations that you would say are Western leaning, right? But once again, that's what is said in the news even. Okay, whether that's the true sentiment on the ground, right? The truth is we don't actually know, right? This man is the master of propaganda, right? I remember watching a video the other day allegedly showing an underground a system in North Korea, right? And I remember just seeing that. I was like, right. I mean, I never actually even thought that North Korea would have an underground system, but based off of the propaganda that we see of that nation, you just think that they're just living in just the most abject of like this is the fifth world, not even the third world, like the fifth world. They ain't got nothing out there. Okay, not saying it's great in North Korea, but it's just the level of propaganda is such that it kind of blew my. Oh yeah, shit, yeah, they do. Right. This is a last precept. This is Revelation 17:16. It says, "And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, right, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire." Right. So America's allies even are gonna, which this is specifically talking about, a set of allies, but all of America's allies are going to shoot missiles at America, right? Was it this one? It's not this one, but then it also goes on to say, what was it, in Jeremiah, right, 50:14, put yourselves in array against Babylon round about, all ye that bend the bow, i.e., all of you that have that technology, right, shoot at her, spare no arrows, right, for she hath sinned against Yahweh, right? So that's why the Lord is going to bring about this great destruction upon that land, because great wickedness hath been on that land. Okay, so as always, Lord's word, that was edifying. Until next time, we say Shalom.